Episode 3, When Everything Comes Crashing Down. Yesterday, I dropped a jar of jelly. And honestly, I think I needed to. It shattered all over my kitchen floor. Glass was literally everywhere. Jelly everywhere. The glass cut my leg and it cut my hand when I was trying to clean it up. I was already running behind. I was trying to get out the door for 2 appointments and standing there looking at this mess. I had this strange thought. This feels exactly like my brain right now. And that's what I want to talk about today.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And this is just a place where we sit down together over a cup of coffee and make sense of life while trying to live it. I don't have all the answers. I'm still building my business, raising my family. I'm chasing dreams, making mistakes, and figuring things out one day at a time. So if you've ever felt like that in your mind and you're running a million miles an hour, pull up a chair. Maybe we can figure it out together. Yesterday started like so many of my days do. I had meetings, I had clients, I wanted to record some content, I had things to create, people to see, messages to answer, ideas flying through my head. I knew exactly what I wanted to accomplish. Like all that chaos, I still knew what I wanted to accomplish. I just wanted to accomplish all of it at the same time. I know. Sound familiar? I was rushing to record a video before leaving. The lighting was not right. I knew I had all the proper equipment. Trust me, I have all the proper equipment. My lights, my tripod, everything I needed. But I convinced myself I didn't have the time to set it all up. So I settled. I rushed. I wasn't giving my best. Then, as I'm walking out the door, because I need a little snacky poo, I dropped a jar of jelly. Glass exploded across the kitchen. Now, I'm telling you, glass went everywhere in places I didn't even think was possible. And mind you, I have 4 kids. I cannot be leaving the glass all over. That is cut little feet. I don't need that. So, yes, glass exploded across the kitchen. Jelly everywhere. I sliced my hand trying to clean up the sticky mess. The little glass shards, when it exploded, grazed my leg. No, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was still memorable in my head because it did hurt. And I remember just standing there for a second thinking, are you freaking serious? Like, seriously? Like, of all the things that I have going on, we really needed to shatter a jar of jelly? And no, I can't just leave it there. I need to clean it up, and I need to do it the right way. So, looking back, I don't actually think the broken jar was the problem. The broken jar was the symptom. The real problem started long before that. I had been trying to give 10% of myself to 10 different things instead of 100% of myself to one thing. Let that sink in. And eventually, something had to come crashing down. Yesterday, it just happened to be a jar of jelly. I know, the poor jar of jelly. And I actually like to keep the jars because I like to reuse them, and they're so stinking cute. But yes, my broken jar of jelly. But if I'm being really honest, sometimes it's not the jar. It's not our patience. Sometimes it's our creativity. Sometimes it's our relationship. Sometimes it's us. Sometimes it's just us. So I finally cleaned everything up. I jumped in the car. I headed to my appointments. And you know what I did? I turned on some old school gangster rap. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I know. Probably not what you expected out of me, but you all know what I'm talking about. But for those few minutes, I just let myself laugh. I literally sang. I shook off the stress. I gave a little driver's seat twerk action. You know what I'm talking about? And somewhere between one song ending and another song starting and ending, I finally arrived at my appointment and I realized something. Nothing had actually gone wrong. Life was not falling apart. It really wasn't. I had simply been moving too fast to be present for any of it in the right way. Then come today. I came across a conversation online about focus. Someone said something that really made me stop. Scattered focus is often avoidance wearing a productivity costume. Oof. Like for real, that one hit me. Not because I think it's always true, but because sometimes it is. As entrepreneurs, our brains are constantly creating. We're inventing, we're dreaming, we're solving problems, we're building businesses. It's one of those things I actually love most about entrepreneurs, to be honest. Our minds rarely stop. But sometimes we become so busy moving between ideas that we never stay in one place. Okay, hear me out. We never stay in one place long enough to finish the thing that matters most. Okay, it's true though. So when he asked how I feel about the situation, like how do I reel myself back in, I had to laugh a little because the truth is I'm still learning. I don't have some magical productivity system. I'm not sitting here with a color-coded calendar pretending I've mastered life. I'm right in the middle of becoming. What I have learned is this. I'm right in the middle of becoming. Okay, so what I have learned is this. When my brain feels overwhelmed, I stop chasing the biggest task. I intentionally finish a few smaller ones. You know, like those little annoying tasks that you know you have to get done that doesn't take too much time, but they're kind of little. But the problem is sometimes I let those build up and it turns into a bigger pile of chaos. So completion of a task for me, when I complete a task, it creates clarity. Okay, it starts releasing the stress. It starts, making things a little bit more clear on what my day should be about. So every finished task, it quiets my mind just enough to hear what actually deserves my next attention. I'm still practicing that. Every single day, I'm practicing that. So I think entrepreneurship gets romanticized sometimes. People see the finished business. They don't see the sticky notes, like sticky notes everywhere. They don't see the unfinished products. They don't see the unfinished projects. They don't see kind of that chaos behind the scenes. They don't see the voice memos. They don't see the moments standing in our kitchen surrounded by broken glass, wondering if maybe I've taken off too much. But maybe that's the beauty in building something. We're building businesses and we're also building ourselves. And sometimes those two things grow together. So before we finish today, I want to leave you with one question. What keeps crashing down in your life? Like what keeps coming to you crashing down in your life? Because you're trying to carry too much at once. And would that happen if today you simply finished one thing on your list? Not everything. Just one thing. Maybe that's enough. Maybe just finishing that one little thing is just enough. So thank you for sitting down with me today. I know these conversations aren't perfect. Honestly, neither am I. But maybe that's the point. We're all just figuring it out as we go. If today's conversation reminded you of someone who might need it, send it to them. And if you're listening while folding laundry, driving to work, or sitting with your own cup of coffee, thank you for letting me spend a little bit of time with you today. Now, until next time, you protect your peace, you keep cheering for the people around you, and remember, you don't have to finish everything today. Just finish what matters. And I'll see you next week.